short. 5 to 7 is generally what
Worry is caused by thoughts of either something that happened in the past or something you are afraid will happen in the future.
Have you invested the time to understand and harness your individual assets? The things like how you behave, what you think, and what you value? Would you believe me if I said that by doing so, you could create the greatest life possible? Well, I am Dr. Success, and I am here to tell you and your viewers exactly how to do that. I am an expert in the tangible application of positive psychology. All around us, we see people in our nation searching for more meaning and deeper understanding of how to use and develop their individual talents and personal resources. They are continually striving to achieve their goals and live great lives, both professionally and personally. Gone are the days of conforming and fixing ourselves to fit into the social norm. From grade school to grad school, the idea that each person's unique attributes can create the launching pad for greatness has not only been embraced, but it has been proven scientifically. One of my recent accomplishments has been to share my knowledge on this very subject in a television segment, Books That Matter, Changing Your Life One Page at a Time. With over 2,000 new titles on personal development published each year, a person would have to finish almost 5.5 books a day, every day, to come close to reading them all. And how on earth would you find the right ones? How do you apply them to your life? Through my segment, I highlight the best of these books and bring the tenets of positive psychology to life for my audiences. I select books from all venues in this realm, including research psychology, personal development, and self-help. I discuss how each book can be applied to enable the viewer to bring a particular aspect of positive psychology to life in their own world. What is positive psychology? The short answer is positive psychology is the scientific study of human happiness. A slightly longer answer is that it is the recently founded branch of psychological research which concentrates on the study of people's individual strengths and the testing of ways to harness those strengths to flourish and create fulfilled lives. This field of study is in contrast to the historical focus of psychology, which is about helping individuals repair their perceived weaknesses or flaws and continually attempting to heal all the things that are wrong with them. You may ask why positive psychology matters in our daily lives, especially for mainstream media. From my perspective, there is no single field of psychology that is more evident and useful to your viewers. And we know that it is something we covet and flock to more and more. Two immediate indicators are the results from a simple search of the book retailer Amazon and a search on Google. Put the word happiness on Amazon and you will have a choice of 291,000 selections. This is a tad better than putting the word happiness on Google, which resulted in 103 million results. Thanks to researchers like Sonia Lyubomirsky, we know that taking actions and actually applying the techniques offered in positive psychology has a tangible, real-life effect on the lives and professional identity of individuals. According to Lyubomirsky's many scientific studies, positive psychology boosts an individual's energy, creativity, and immune system. It fosters better relationships, fuels higher productivity at work, and even leads to longer life. Now that is something we all covet. When presented in an accessible, engaging, and professional dialogue, the subject of positive psychology will absolutely build greater viewer loyalty by providing your audiences with insights, techniques, and tools to improve their daily lives and claim their own individuality as their ticket to greatness. If you think about the individual's life as containing different, overlapping areas of attention, every single day our media is filled with stories about each of these areas of our lives. I provide an endless stream of creative waves to demonstrate and share with your viewers the fundamental techniques of positive psychology, which include the ability to manage thoughts and ways to speak about your life and circumstances, the ability to observe the present moment, the ability to create community, the ability to develop gratitude for and towards other people, places, and things in our lives, the ability to forgive, the ability to develop habits that enhance one's health, learning, and spiritual selves, the ability to create and achieve goals. Please take a look at some of the clips from the work that I've done so far. Then, put on your thinking caps of what we can create together.
A lady that has a very positive outlook, a very positive attitude, has hard optimism. A lady that you know because we have her on the show all the time. It's Andrea Goeglein. Welcome. Andrea, welcome.
Thank you,
back
thank
to
you.
the show.
Thank you, as always.
How did I get happy?
How did you get happy?
Yeah.
Well, 50% of it you were actually born with.
Oh.
Really?
Didn't
Absolutely. And then there's another 40% they have found that you actually do things in your life that help encourage the 50% that you were born with. So that gives you about 90%.
Wow.
And then there's only 10% left. And the 10% are circumstances. And you really can't do a lot to affect that 10%. If things are not good, they are not good. And that is the part you don't affect. But this particular author, she came to the United States as, I believe it was a Russian immigrant as a child, around 14 years old. Family did not have very much money, and she was fortunate enough to be quite intellectual and got into scholarships at a very young age. That allowed her to start doing research. And one of the things that I appreciate about the field of positive psychology and all of the grounding researchers is that they are not the most happy, naturally, the set point, not the happiest people on the face of the earth. They really walk their talk. They are so committed to this work that they know that, you know what, we are born with a set point, and then there are things we can do to enhance that. And they've committed their lives to that enhancement research.
Genius, let me tell you.
One of the chapters in here, Andrea, I love this. Drop your mind on paper. That'd take me about 2 sentences.
Nope, you will be, I have to tell you, this book is such a cool little book because what Mark Levy, the author, has done is take us as adults. It's written for adults.
Yeah.
And there's really not a time when we're told, you know, oh, why don't you sit down and write, other than if you're in therapy and then they want you to write about your feelings. And most of the time people are saying, oh no, I don't want to go near that concept. So what he has done is taken the concept of writing and applied it to business. And you know, rather than have you talk about your feelings, why not talk about something that you're really interacting with on a day-to-day basis and have it help you?
And this month's selection is a Phil McGraw, the Dr. Phil, of great renown. I chose his very first book that made him famous, and it was after an incident with Oprah, and that's how he came in.
He was a regular on her show.
Exactly, and that's where. And what was yours?
Oh, mine is you cannot change what you do not acknowledge. And it says, get real with yourself about your life and everybody in it.
Yeah, you know, not being able to change, you know, I am not a fan, in positive psychology, to which I am grounded, is not a fan of you regurgitating your story too much, but unless you know and have written down the story that you generally tell, because whether we're aware of it or not, when we meet new people in particular, within a very short period of time, there are a list of stories that we will tell them about ourselves. And until we acknowledge what those stories are and craft them in a way that actually propels you forward and tells your story in a way that you have learned something and are moving forward, it may not be the most helpful. So being able to acknowledge what your story is, and then what the stories are of the people around you, that's a very, very important step. Is actually gone to that segment of the population that we as a culture have somewhat forgotten. You know, in the more ancient cultures, the respect for the elderly is at the absolute highest. And in our culture, over the last 100 years, we have diminished the value of wisdom to our elder population.
But isn't it's up to us to implement? I think that's the whole key.
Choice. You know, that is the key to self-help. That is the key to positive psychology. At every moment, you have a choice to make. What am I thinking? Do I need to change it? How am I acting? Do I need to change it? What am I feeling? Do I need to change it? And as I was reading it, I actually wrote an article about self-help industry, that self-help is actually a lie. Because until we actually learn to ask for help constructively and receive help constructively, we actually cannot help ourselves or anybody else.
And so this was such a wonderful book, and I must say that reading these books is truly useless unless you do the exercises and then start to use them in your life. Well, what this author, Nora Calver, has done is given you exercises to look at the very root of asking for help. You cannot even help yourself if you do not know how to first ask for help and know when you need help a little bit sooner than before you're in major crisis.